Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Minister of Agriculture and Osun State Governor disagree on success of the federal government's agriculture policy. More drama in the PDP as National Chairman Bamanga Tukur threatens to sue leaders of the breakaway faction. PDP candidate in Offa Local Council rejects victory following declaration by Kwara State Electoral Commission, and U.S. Senate panel approves the use of military force in Syria. Now do remember that all our top stories are on our website channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. You can watch us on the go on m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, iPhone or BlackBerry, and you can also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 from their respective stores. The acting governor of Taraba State, Garba Umar, has said that there's nothing to worry about regarding the ongoing political crisis in the state. Now, this comes as some legislators of the State Assembly today distanced themselves from the position of the committee sent to observe the situation in the state. 8 members of the state legislature at a press conference condemned the resolution of the fact-finding committee, describing it as provocative.
Senator Hope Ozodinma's hurriedly contrived solutions to the constitutional crisis in Taraba State turned out not only poisonous but has left the entire state in more confusion than it has been in recent times. While many Nigerians have expressed the fact that the solutions to the problems is strictly adherence to the Constitution, even a member of the PDP panel and political advisor to the President, Ahmed Gulak, has quoted the presidency as saying the Taraba issue is a constitutional matter.
Today, we thank God that all our differences have been resolved and we are one. And it was agreed that I will follow the affairs of the state until my principal is able to come back and resume duties as our governor. There must be a kind of consultation between me and my boss in carrying out my duties as the acting governor of the state.
Away from politics now, any candidate caught engaging in examination malpractices in the 5 countries under the West African examination scheme faces a penalty of 200,000 naira or a fine of 5 years imprisonment. Now, the Federal Executive Council today approved this following the amendment of an act of the Examination Council agreed upon by the West African countries in 2004. The Minister of Education, Professor Rukayatu Rufai, told State House correspondents that the decision has been taken to strengthen the examination body in terms of legislation.
The Federal Executive Council, presided over by President Goodluck Jonathan, took a look at some national issues which aim at the development of the nation. Beginning with education, let's take a look at what the Minister of Education has to say that are penalties for anyone caught in examination malpractices in the country.
Now with this amendment, any person that may be caught in one of those acts can now be fined to the sum of 200,000 naira, or he may be imprisoned for 5 years, or even both, depending on the establishment of that offense, whatever that offense may be.
The Ministries of Health and that of Environment are concerned about waste disposal in the country and what the new policy is out to do.
Now, our people will be protected from the potential harm of improperly disposed medical waste.
Expectations from such convention require that nations formulate and put in place national policies that will serve as a kind of framework for strategic actions towards meeting the objectives of that convention.
The Federal Executive Council also took a look at a memo by the Ministry of Interior. That memo takes a look at how to reduce the incidence of fire in public buildings across the country.
We notice, over the years that a number of the fire incidents that we have on public buildings, markets, private residences could be reduced if only we have a systematic policy for fire safety, inbuilt into our national planning, our urban planning, as well as the general construction of buildings across the country.
The Ministry of the Interior was directed to forward the policy to the National Economic Council for further deliberation and to also enable state governors to key into the policy for full implementation across the country. Chukuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.
Well, staying with the proceedings at the Council, the federal government has said that it is unable to meet the demands of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, whose members have been on a nationwide strike for weeks now. These were the comments made by the Minister of Information, Labaran Mako, and the Education Minister, Professor Rukayatu Rufai. The ministers explained that the federal government has been spending a lot on the development of tertiary education across the country and would continue to do so in a way that would not adversely affect other sectors of the economy. Well, the Nigeria Customs Service has ordered the closure of warehouses of the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, NACO, and the Skyway Aviation Handling Company in Lagos. The Customs Area Controller of the Murtala Muhammad International Airport explained that consultations among parties involved failed to resolve the major issues, including non-compliance with customs procedures and the loss of revenue accruable to the federal government. Now, the 15-year-old boy who travelled from Lagos, that's Lagos from Benin City, stowed away in the wheel compartment of an aircraft, is back home. Master Daniel Ohikena returned to the Edo State capital on Tuesday after he was released from the custody of the State Security Service. The boy was received at the State Government House in company of representatives of the foundation, which had earlier offered him a scholarship.
It may not be totally wrong that a pasture is greener on the other side. When 13-year-old Daniel Oyikene ran into the subway of a Lagos-bound aeroplane, thinking he would be in the United States, many things were definitely on his mind. Perhaps he's had enough of the current state and seeking a better life, not minding the cost. After several days of being kept by security operatives, Daniel has been released and returned to his home state. Although kept away from our cameras at the government house, Daniel's mother arrives to see our son. Anticipation written over her. News of Daniel's arrival may not be enough, seeing surely he will be believing. Daniel's dreams of getting to the United States may not yet be accomplished, but a chance to education and scholarship seems to be in the works. A non-governmental organization is working on that.
We are ready to assist him in that light. We are ready to ensure that he gets this education that he's craving for without looking back. And we are promising today that yes, we will not fail this young man.
This man says he's Daniel's father, bearing in his hand a photograph which appears to be of him and the stowaway boy. He said himself and Daniel's mother don't live together. With 4 children, he explains how he feels about the news of Daniel's ordeal.
I thank God that my son is alive. Since never said my hand on my son. I want to confirm that my son is alive.
So when you heard the news, what occurred to your mind? How did you respond to the news?
I was shocked.
You were shocked?
Yes.
Now, people are understanding that you are coming up now to claim this boy because you heard that they gave you scholarship.
It's more that are coming. No. We wouldn't have. I will be here.
When I came in this evening and I saw somebody coming up as his father, I was shocked because where was he before now?
It is indeed interesting, the story of a 13-year-old who thinks getting out of Nigeria at all costs will answer his many doubts about the future. Just like thousands of Nigerians on the streets seeking for a better life, one will hope they may be lucky like Daniel by not losing their lives in the process.
Now, when the news at 10 returns, Africa's foremost entrepreneur, Aliko Dangote, delves into oil and gas, set to establish largest petroleum refinery on the continent. That's on Business News. Do join us again.